What's up, guys? Today we are back with the doctor. Okay. So, guys, how you guys doing? So, you guys gonna say happy birthday to me yet or no?
So guys!
First off, please give a round of applause to our special guest, Tess,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Tess O'Neill.
Hello.
Thank you for your trustworthiness and
Yeah.
being on the show with us.
Thank you for having me and happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So today we have a special program because we have a special guest. This is our first guest, which is very exciting because she's a trusted doctor, unlike us, who could give a good opinion and could also correct us on ours.
Yeah, like please correct us when we say something dumb as fuck.
You won't.
So first off, how did you become a doctor?
Well, I always loved psychology. I have a genuine and just pretty authentic curiosity in people and their experience. Okay, you guys are.
I think look at us.
Yeah,
Okay.
ignore the camera,
Okay.
like a sex tape, you know?
Yeah. Okay, and I feel like I'm, pretty naturally gravitated towards them and interested in what they have to say, interested in their strengths, their weaknesses, how they grow.
Yeah.
I'm interested in that about myself too. It's happening all the time and it changes all the time. So there's always something to learn. People are fascinating.
That's amazing. So,
Oh god.
why did you,
That's amazing.
how did you pick your field in psychology that you want to work on?
Well, I think that the field of psychology gives you most of what I just, talked about with people. It's like, it literally breeds, being able to be curious and find out about people and ask questions and be there and support, People need each other. We're social beings.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
How did Carlos come across? Don't you hate when people talk in the third person?
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
It's like,
How did Carlos come across Tess O'Neill? Funny you asked that.
Uh-oh.
We went to college together. One of the first,
funny you asked that.
I'll tell you.
first few people that I met in college that I really felt a genuine connection with, that I was gravitating towards. And I think we had a look in each other's eyes when we first glanced at one another. Like, we need help. We need out of this, box that we're in with these people. I felt that way a little bit. Because I felt like you were a really good person when I first met you, for sure. I didn't get a vibe. And then the people that we were with were just a little bit weird. And I think for me, I was like, she's really cool. Like, I want to hang out with her more. Unlike these people that I didn't feel comfortable with.
Did you see it in his eyes? But
Yeah, I did. The blink twice.
yeah.
I did, and I just, been funny since the start.
Yeah.
Been laughing so hard since the second I met you.
And then we just happened to be friends for how long now? For decades.
Since 2007.
Oh my god, I was still in high school.
Yeah, I just graduated high school.
Yeah, that's
freshman year.
That's crazy. Because throughout the whole, we didn't grow apart, which is good.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So now
You
we're
guys
here.
were babies when you met.
Yeah.
I don't know why when you said that you met in college, I still imagine you guys being mid-20s. You're definitely out of college right now.
Teenagers.
You were literal teenagers.
Yeah.
I was
Not even 18, probably.
I was
You were
not
18?
19 because I got held back, so I was old.
Our brains weren't fully,
No,
they
They
were
weren't fully developed.
That's
yeah.
also what needed to help because
Yeah.
we made some silly decisions together and we're lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, you guys have known each other for half your lives. Half your fucking life!
It's a long time.
That's a long time. Whoa.
I know, to maturing, as I
Yeah.
say.
We've seen each other in lots of different stages of our lives and development. I feel like we've watched each other grow.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's crazy, dude, that we're still here. Yeah.
So anyway, cool. Also, happy fucking birthday. Happy birthday! Cheers.
Cheers.
Love you so much. What's your biggest birthday wish?
Biggest birthday wish? I think to continue to have patience, to be a good husband and father.
Please, yeah. That'd be great. Is that hard for you?
Yeah, but it's always, patience is always hard. When is patience easy? When do you think, I'm patient, it's so easy to be patient? It's hard, dude, right? You're not even patient when you don't get your food right. You're not patient if someone doesn't bring you something from Mexico the day of. You get pissed off at everyone. So isn't that patience?
Who do I get pissed off
At the mailman, not delivering your
Not
packages.
the mailman.
At the people not coming fixing the lights soon enough. Come on. But I'm saying patience is very a very thing that's like, I don't know, I feel like it's overlooked. Am I wrong?
I mean, yeah, patience.
Is that hard? Is it easy for you guys to be patient?
It depends on the situation for me, and also what kind of day I'm having, what kind of headspace I'm in.
Yeah.
You know, if someone pisses me off, or if I feel like I'm sad or or something, yeah, everything like makes me want to cry. But other times,
Yeah.
I like that your birthday wish included other people. That's
Well,
nice.
of course, man.
I think I'm glad that's your wish. I do hope.
Is it dumb? I feel shame.
No,
I feel like you're
no.
shaming me for my wish. Like,
No, it's not shameful.
it seemed like it.
Sorry.
In what ways would you say that you guys have seen each other change? We were just talking about how in our friendship we've seen a lot of different changes and developments since the start.
Mhm.
What does that look like for you two?
Well, he's less reckless now, for sure.
How so?
Well, yeah, I think he just pays more attention to like his well-being. I think now because I think now he has like a bigger, greater reason to do that.
Yeah.
What else?
I mean, if we're gonna ask them to be vulnerable, we have to be vulnerable too.
Holy crap, we're getting schooled. What was it? Can you repeat the question or use it in a sentence, please?
Yeah. I was saying.
Dude, what if I was a patient for sure? Would you get mad if I say that?
No, not at all.
Like, can you use it in a sentence, please? Like, would you be like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
I was asking, you know how I was saying that like we've known each other for so long,
Yeah.
and we've seen each other grow and develop. I'm curious how you feel you've seen that or felt that in your relationship with Amanda.
That's a good question.
Yeah, like what changes?
With Amanda? Not much. I'm just kidding. No, let's see. With Amanda, I think what changed. That's actually start all my essays in college.
Or developed or blossomed, you know? Like whatever comes to mind.
Why are you look at me with those eyes?
Should I have not asked this question?
When she's looking at me like, come on, bro. It was on her. She was like, I don't know. Dude, that's an interesting question. It's a loaded question. Especially in the morning. I feel like I'm so hot right now. I'm starting to sweat.
I mean, I know what I've seen.
What?
With you two? I feel like things have deepened. Like, you have always connected very instantaneously. You always had so much fun. You're both equally hilarious and open to making fun of each other and yourselves. And I love that about your relationship. So that always felt really good to see. And, you know, over time, I feel like when you get closer and you open up and you're more comfortable with being vulnerable after some trust is built, right? I feel like just things have really deepened. And now you're parents and you guys are killing it. You're amazing.
That's true. Communication has gone.
Wow, that was so easy for text.
Yeah, but it's always easier because when you look at outside in.
Yeah.
Come on, give me the program, Junior.
And I just love you guys so much.
No, yeah, it's always easier. It is when you're on the outside because it's like hard to see when you're in frame. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And things happen every single day that it kind of gets all clustered into one big bubble, you know.
Yep.
Um,
It's like when you look back at a picture of yourself and you're like,
Holy,
damn.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then you're like, oh, but I'm seeing myself every day, you know? So
Yeah, I think our communication has gotten better for sure. I think we definitely, communication. I think even communicating about sensitive issues, which I think back in the day wasn't really a thing. It's kind of go hard, and I think now it's like a different level, you know. I'm gonna add some laugh tracks and everything.
Yeah.
I've looked at the camera so many times too, and been like.
Oh my god, this is actually a nice segue from what you talked about, how like you two have grown together from being kids to being adults and like haven't outgrown each other. This question says, I feel like I've outgrown my BFF. She's my only friend. Is it okay? What should I do?
I think we should answer this and then let her answer it last.
Yeah.
Should I go first?
You want me to?
I'll go first.
Okay.
In case you say what I was thinking. I believe that it is good. I believe that it's a good thing. I think if you are going to outgrow your friend, that's a good sign of yourself and your journey, because your best friend isn't supposed to take care of you. So if you're taking care of yourself and you are outgrowing the people around you, I think that is when you're going to have to consider how important the people around you are and who you want to bring with you. And by talking to your friend or trying to help them or guide them or do something to like be helpful or supportive is all it takes. That's all you can do. Because I think about my friends that I've outgrown, and I could go back to talk to them. It's easy because I miss them, but you have to outweigh the pros and cons. And also, I think that it's a matter of putting time and effort and energy into the things that you want, the type of output you want from it. So I think it's a good sign. I think it's a good thing that you're outgrowing your friends, because it's a sign that you're not stagnant and you're moving towards something that you, either want or unintentionally want. And yeah, you have to decide. It's a relationship at the end of the day.
Yeah. I think that if you feel like you've outgrown your best friend, I feel like, and she's saying it's her only friend. So I think there's probably fear around that, like fear of like, if I let go of this relationship in some kind of capacity, then that like means that I really only have myself to focus on and don't necessarily have whatever support maybe they had in the past through that friend, and I think that's a really scary feeling. But I wonder like in what ways they feel like they've outgrown their BFF, because it could be that the relationship doesn't have to end, it could just change and expectations could change. You know, like managing expectations about what that relationship is going to be for you and for them.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think it has to be like a big breakup, unless this person's like really toxic or like really bad for you in some kind of way. But I think you totally have control over how much of yourself you want to give somebody, how much time you want to give somebody. And I don't think that it has to, depending on the situation, I don't think it has to be like a big ending. It could just be like literally that your expectations about the relationship have changed and that you start to change how much of yourself you give that person or something. I don't know, what do you think, Tess?
I think both of what you said, both of you and what you shared is super true, and I think that with anything, life is about balance, and balance I think is the hardest thing to not only achieve but maintain, because you can feel like you're able to stay close to this one friend or this other group, and then over time as you and those people change, because that's just inevitable. I never understand when people say people never change. We change all the time.
Yeah.
And we change in so many ways. So it's inevitable that we're going to change and other people close to us are going to change. And it's really just about choice of, do I want to change with this person? Do I want to communicate about when things get hard? Like, is this someone that I feel is worth, giving a fair shot when things get difficult? Because that's what relationships do.
Yeah.
So it's, I think, about choice and balance of like, am I comfortable with this change? What does this change bring up in me? And just finding a balance between the pros and cons of how someone makes you feel and what they add to your life. Hopefully they add something to your life.
Good, right?
Yeah. But also, I want to say to that person, if that person is someone that you've had and you were really close to them, I feel for you. I feel a lot of compassion.
Yeah,
that sounds like a loss.
I have our son like chilling here watching Miss Rachel, and so the ads came up and he's like, Miss Rachel.
Shouts out to Miss Rachel.
Yeah.
If she wants to donate.
Here, baby.
My
Miss
PayPal
Rachel's back.
is down.
Put your headphones on.
I think also with a friend, it's different because you could always come back to that person, and I think hopefully, like maybe you have to like learn to be by yourself, and then you can always go back to your friend and be like, hey, listen, I was going through this. And I mean, from a relationship, that might be different because you're not going to be able to have them wait for you, right? But a friend, I feel like a good friend will always be there at the end of the day. So like maybe if you have to work on something, get over the fear of being alone or accepting that reality, then I think that'd be a good journey to go on to.
Yeah. Sometimes you need space from someone to realize that you really miss them or that they really miss you.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I feel like that is, I do wish sometimes that we had more context though, because it's like, in what ways do you feel like they've outgrown them? Do you feel like they're negative now in your life in some type of way, or holding you back in some type of way? Because I feel like my advice would be a little bit different if they're like, I really feel like strongly that this person is negatively affecting me.
Yeah.
And then versus like, maybe our interests have changed a little bit and it's harder to feel connected to that person, or it's, like those things would be totally different in terms of like how I would think you should approach it.
Yeah.
Because like, if it's like small things like that where it's like, oh, our interests have kind of changed, or like, I'm not really sure about like, our value systems might be a little bit different, but they still have fun together, or like whatever, then like I said, like it might just be like, just manage your expectations of that person, like if they're not negatively impacting you, I don't know, but yeah, if somebody's being like, maybe they're like super reliant on you, or they just don't like the fact that you're growing, like they're getting insecure about that, and they're saying like, making you feel bad about your growth, then I'd be like, okay, then that might need to be something where you really put distance.
Because that means that they're not able to be happy for you, which is not a part of friendship.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, sorry that's happening.
We'll be your friends though.
Yeah.
This happened to me when I had like a kind of like a core group of friends in from like elementary school to high school, and then in high school, like I kind of felt this way, and I just felt like it was like not good for me anymore, and I didn't make some big conversation or anything, I just like stopped putting so much effort towards it, and I think the less you put effort towards something, the more you can see things clearly in terms of how much effort they put and how much people are kind of sometimes willing to just let shit go.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like that really like opened my eyes a lot back then.
Well, that's what I would say, Tess. I think you had a good, I think our friendship has kind of blossomed because we've like had that, and I feel like it was harder for me to do it, and I feel like you were kind of like, because I'm a guy, I think I see a different, like friendship as with my friends, even my best friends back in the day wasn't like, it was, I wouldn't say surface level, but it wasn't a deeper connection. I didn't know what that meant until I think I met you, and then you were like, there's things that aren't making me happy, and I was kind of like, whatever, dude, we're fucking friends, like shut the fuck up. But then me realizing like, dude, that's what, like that is, I think that's the part where you're like, it's still a relationship, like it still has to be talked about, and then like, you still have to take matters serious, because it's not just like, dude, what the fuck, like stop being so soft or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that's what really helped our relationship kind of continue, because I think otherwise you could have been like, dude, fuck Carlos, like he's an immature bastard that doesn't get it.
And I chose not to do that. I chose to communicate about it and ask you, what was going on for you at that time or whatever it was, and to kind of hold a mirror up like I would expect you to do with me, because I care. I feel like you work on something and you nurture it, like I was saying before, and you communicate when you care.
Exactly. Yeah, so I think that's, we're fucking awesome, dude.
Dude, we're solid.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. How do I improve myself so that I can apply to top-notch quality professional careers?
Damn. Go ahead, I'll let you take this one first.
Well,
Top-notch careers.
Like baddest baddie at the table right here.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to say how do I improve myself? Okay. Well, I guess this is also something where I feel like I need context. Like, I feel like I'm gonna need people to start like sending video messages or something to us
That's a
because,
good idea.
like, in what ways do you even feel like you need to improve? I think the best thing that you can do when it comes to like what even is top-notch quality professional careers, because like for me it's like that all like again depending on what you're interested in, what is top-notch to you, and then obviously like that advice will be catered towards like what your specific goals are. I would say the best thing you can do to improve yourself is to think about those things, like what actually is something that you're interested in or feel connected to, and then kind of create some kind of goals for yourself, and then work backwards from your goals to like create micro goals for yourself so that you can get to wherever it is that you would like to be. So for example, if you want to be like in finance or something, or you want to be a lawyer, or you want to be a doctor, like obviously like there's education that goes with that, so like figuring out that part. And I think if you're having any challenges in terms of like being consistent with your goals or things like that, I mean, I feel like a lot of that stuff for me, if I've ever had that and when I've had that in my life where I'm like, I know I want something but I'm having a hard time getting there, it's usually because I'm having some kind of like self-worth issue that I feel like I had to always address before I could actually start being consistent with the steps I needed to take. And I feel like that could be something as simple as like doing things that feel good to you, like moving your body, reading books, like, and so on. And you know, I'm a big advocate for therapy. So what do you guys think?
I think you nailed it, right?
Yeah.
Because it is true, we do need context, because I don't know what top-notch, it could be anything, you know? Top-notch.
I think that, yeah, I think like the thing is like anything that is gonna be something that is worthwhile to do is going to take your dedication, and it's gonna take consistency, and it's gonna take a belief in yourself, and because that's what helps you to keep going, because inevitably in anything that is anything worthwhile, you're gonna have challenges along the way, and that's usually when people give up, or like they conveniently decide that's not what they want anymore, or so on, because something feels hard and then they stop. And again, I feel like that usually always goes back to like, how do I feel about myself?
That's true.
Yeah, I keep thinking about confidence and the experience of confidence when you're talking about what you're saying, of just being able to go into something, anything, but especially something you want really badly, and that means something to you and is aligned with your goals or your values. You have to go in believing that this is meant for you, and that you can conquer this, and you can, you know, make this your own.
Yeah.
And going into something confident, even if you're like, I don't know if I'm ready for this, I'm afraid of what they're gonna think of me, like faking it till you make it, going in there and reminding yourself of your worth, and finding ways to actually believe that, I think changes the experience and changes how people experience you, you know, like you put out a certain energy when you come into something with confidence, and yeah, we all deserve that.
Yeah.
And you deserve that, person, whoever you are.
Yeah, you definitely deserve that. Listen, I have a serious question for you, Whiskey. It's very important. How do I prevent cheating?
Don't do it. You have to get a collar with a buzzer.
Any bad thoughts?
I know it's.
I think it means like, how do you prevent your partner from cheating?
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
I feel like that's pretty straightforward. Like, there's nothing you can do, and if someone cheats on you, it's not your fault.
And if you're afraid of someone cheating on you, then you just have your answer right there. You know, like that's what I'm saying. You don't want to battle with the thoughts of cheating. That's the last thing you want. You know, it's almost like driving a car that's like broken down.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna always be like, am I gonna be stuck here? Am I gonna be stuck here? It's like just fix it. You know.
That's a good analogy. Yeah, it's like always driving a car that might break down.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you're anxious every time you get in the car.
Yeah, it's like just do something about it. Take transportation, like you know.
Oh my god, that was so good.
That was really good.
But yeah, I think you know. as a cheater, as a cheated,
As a fellow cheater.
as a fellow cheat and cheated, a cheatette. Yeah, it's just not a fun way to live, dude. Like any relationship, anyone who's gonna cheat you out of anything, like even anything, it's never good. I got cheated yesterday with the contract that was like 300 pesos, and it's just not a good feeling. You know, you're like, bro. So you know,
got me.
yeah,
You feel stupid and you
yeah,
also
you feel
feel like,
dumb.
why do you
Yeah.
treat me like that?
So
Yeah.
if you feel like that ongoing,
I'm nice, dude.
ongoing like that those thoughts are scary, and you know, there's your answer, man. Like you just have to not deal with it. You don't have to deal with it.
Surround yourself with people that make you feel loved
Yeah.
and safe and empowered. Like someone needs to always put you up here.
True.
Yeah. Okay, this is another good one. How do you deal with toxic in-laws? Bro,
Uh-oh.
that sucks. I'm so sorry if you have toxic in-laws. Yikes.
These two are very blessed with that.
Yeah, we're really
Very
lucky.
Damn. I think you have to be very self-aware, and I think you're also gonna have to realize that. I don't know. It sucks because you have to read the room. You have to know where you are. You know, like I feel like if you know that there's toxicity around it, you can't play the game.
Yeah, like you
afford
can't
to play the
engage
game,
it.
you know,
Don't
like-
engage
And
in
not to
toxic
be assholes
behavior.
to them, but like just know the boundary. Like know
Here,
know how they are. I don't know, because I don't want you to be like
Yeah.
fake, but like just I feel like if you are, I don't know, if you're like at a business meeting with business guys, you're not gonna talk about dumb stuff. You're gonna just you're gonna talk about whatever you need to have a discussion on. But so it's not like you're being fake, but you're just using a different part of your brain. So I feel like just know that, and like, I mean, it's hard because you want your in-laws to love you, so you have to kind of, you can't do anything other than like accept them.
yeah, I think like, okay, my first question, again, wish I had more context, does your partner know how you feel? And how do they feel
Yeah.
about their family dynamic? Because I think that's really important, because if they don't think there's anything toxic going on, I imagine that'd be a lot more difficult
Yeah.
to deal with,
Yeah.
to feel alone in that, and to, really feel like kind of like.
Or does it give you a pep talk?
Yeah, exactly. Like
Okay.
for example, I think both of us, like when it comes to like our families, like if there's anything, which there's nothing toxic, but like if there's anything to kind of give a heads up on, it's like, hey, listen, just know A, B, and C, and this doesn't have to do with you if this happens, you know? But yeah, I feel like if your partner kind of knows that, their family can be,
Ask for guidance. Huh?
like that, yeah, I think talk to your partner about it. Especially if you're feeling super disrespected in some type of way. Like, I do think that's your partner's job to address it and not yours. But if it's more just like they annoy me or like stuff like that, I do think there's a certain level of like, you just kind of need to like play the game of like, manage expectations about what your relationship is going to be with these people.
Yeah.
Know that you need to see them X amount of times a year, and when you do, you're gonna keep your fucking mouth shut, and you're just gonna like play the game. Because I think that there's people in my own family that I have to do that with.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, I realize that I'm not ever gonna have a deeper relationship with that person because I can, for whatever reason. And I know that certain things annoy me that they say or like whatever, but I know that I'm just gonna have to, like when I'm around them, bite my tongue and not take it personally because I know that it's not about me. And then that's it. And then just keep it moving, because I do want to maintain a relationship. It is important, but I just know what the relationship is going to be now, So I feel like that's a good way. But if it's something that's like so toxic that, again, like they're being super disrespectful to you, or like, or it's really dramatically affecting your relationship with your partner, like you need to talk to your partner about it for sure.
True.
What do you think, Tess? Dr. O'Neill?
I think all of that is so true and helpful. I think that, how are you talking about it? I feel like communication is the foundation of what we're talking about today. Every question on there. So how are you talking about it with your partner?
Yeah.
How are you talking about it with yourself? You know, like what's going on? Is this
Yeah.
person reminding you of something that you don't like about yourself? Or,
Right.
you know, it's something from your past, and it's like you have to be able to be aware of what's happening when you get triggered or activated around these people.
Oh yeah.
You know, and so how are you talking about it with yourself, but also with your partner, and how are they making you feel comfortable?
Right.
How are they supporting you? And I want to say, expectations are premeditated resentments. That's something that I have really loved and have reminded myself of over and over.
That.
My good friend and I always say that, and it's so true. It's like, yes, always expect and demand respect,
Right.
but other than that, of like what you're wanting people to do or wanting to change them to be more like you, premeditated resentments.
Yes, that's so cool. That's another
What's the other one
moment.
that we said? Expectations are the killer. Oh, non-communicated expectations are the killer relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
true.
that he said another one, another freaking little
Expectations.
nugget
are
wisdom.
Yes.
Yeah, like if you, I loved that when he said that uncommunicated expectations of a killer relationships
Yeah.
because it is. It's basically what you're saying is like uncommunicated needs.
Yeah.
And so how can your needs be met if you're never
Yep.
communicating what
You can
those
find
are?
us on Goodreads.com.
I know.
Dr. Tess O'Neill.
Dr. Tess O'Neill and
Goodreads.
Carlos
You should put it
Roberto.
on Goodreads. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a good one. Anything you want to add?
No, I did.
We'll be back to that.
I think, yeah, you guys said it best.
Okay. How to keep balanced about what you don't like about each other in your relationship. How to keep balance. I think ultimately you have to
Pick and choose your battles too. Yeah?
pick and choose your battles. Also, the good really needs to outweigh the bad, obviously. So if that's not already balanced in the sense of like the good is definitely more than the bad stuff or like the things you don't like, then I think you really need to like seriously question why you're in that relationship. Because hopefully if that is the case, because inevitably there will be
Go ahead.
inevitably there will be things that you don't like about somebody because it's impossible. Like I feel like it's impossible no matter how much you're in love with somebody and how much you respect somebody and how much you like somebody, there is inevitably going to be things that bother you or things that annoy you or like whatever, you know? I just think that they shouldn't be super big or super important things to you. Like if you have like for example, if you have a certain value set and those are really important to you in terms of like who you are and how you want to live your life, and your partner's value set is very different from yours, I think that is a big problem. And I don't even think that's something you could fix or try to keep balanced. I think that is something that you have to. Some things pick your battles. Like not everything has to be communicated.
Yeah.
And the important things do. Like if you see something that is really bothering you, you need to communicate it. What do you think?
Again, I think what you said is amazing, perfect. I think that the one thing I want to add that when I think about things that are either frustrating or annoying or upsetting or disappointing in some way, if you want to give feedback, I think of the feedback sandwich. It's like starting with something positive, saying what you need or what's been hard, and then ending with something positive so that you're
good.
leading with love and respect and that it's more palatable and someone can hear you better, because it's important that not only this person gets to hear how you feel, but that, you know, they feel like they're being respected in the process too. So it's like, I love you so much, and when you do this, I notice I feel this way,
Yeah.
and here's how I think we can work on it together. Or,
Yeah.
you know, like ending on a positive
Dang,
note.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
What's it called? Sandwich?
I just say feedback sandwich.
The feedback sandwich.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Positive, like getting to the hard-hitting truth, and then positive.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Do you ever have like experiences with people when you do that and all they hear is the positive and they didn't actually take in the
Totally.
feedback?
or the opposite, where they only hear the negative, and it's like, man, I'm really trying to
I'm
leave
really
love right now.
yeah,
You're not hearing me. Like,
Yeah.
just come on, listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. When you only hear the positive,
Yeah.
it's like, great, I knew it. I'm the best. You know, like, yeah,
Really, so
perfect
relationship.
love it. Love me.
Yeah.
And then when you only hear the negative, it's definitely like, why would you say that to me? How could you make me feel that way? And those things are important too. If you feel disrespected, like, definitely let that person know. And you know, it's something that should be talked about. But I think either way, it's ego.
Yeah. Tips on how to maintain a long distance relationship.
Just be patient. Learn to listen to yourself. And you can't really expect too much. I think that's all I gotta say about that.
It's like that. Okay. It's so hard to give advice about this because I've never done it, you know, and I don't want to just throw out some bullshit stuff, like because I don't know, because I've never done it, and that sounds really hard to do, and I imagine you really love the person if you're willing to do that. Yeah, I mean, I guess the main thing is communicating and then coming up with like, if you guys can't physically be together, like, is there dedicated time for that person in the capacity that you can spend time together, like whether that's through phone calls or FaceTimes or, you know, whatever. Like, is there like a discussion on how often you guys get to see each other and like an agreement about that, and does that feel good to both people? I think everything comes back to like communicating, like, and making sure that that's an ongoing conversation, because I imagine like going through the day-to-day without that person like physically being there, I think it could probably, I imagine, could be easy to let stuff go longer than it needs to go, or longer than it should, without communicating things, just because like you don't have that person in your face to remind you like, oh, I need to, I don't know.
But there's something about being in a
done
long
it.
distance relationship that it lingers more, because you have more time to think about the conversation too.
Is that like in a
So
good
you
way or
build
bad
more
way?
better, both.
It could be good or bad, yeah.
Because it could be good because you could make something good up in your head, or it could be bad because you were just overthinking it. But it's just it's a tricky thing for sure.
I think it'd be so interesting, like for the people who are in these long distance relationships, because there's a lot of scenarios that would be a situation that you would have to be in. You know, like for example, if like you've talked about wanting to be on a show or like doing something like that, like if you got a show or something and you had to be away for a couple of months, like I can imagine we would really need to talk about like.
I think a couple months is doable, you know. I think it's the year. The year. Imagine the year.
No, I know, but still imagine.
Yeah,
okay, for me, I'm like, dude, we've been together every single day for the last 5 years. Like, we still would have to talk about,
Yeah, for sure.
like, a little bit of like, what's that gonna look like for us? What's that gonna feel like for us? Like, how are we gonna cope with it? You know what I mean? Like, but I can imagine, for me, I can imagine being okay with that. So like, and there would be some circumstances where I would definitely be in a long distance relationship. I was just giving one example. Like, I agree, like a couple months is different than if it's like an ongoing thing for a long period of time, but still, I imagine there would be scenarios where I would choose to, because I immediately want to just be like, I don't know, I would never do that. I don't think I could do that. But then I think about it, and I definitely think there would be scenarios that like, I'd be like, yeah, of course, you know, like, of course we would have to do that.
I'd be like, no, I'm sorry.
You're out, and I'd be like, that's the end of our relationship. So, that's it. It was nice. We have a beautiful son, but also,
Bye.
fucking bye.
Let's go somewhere.
Oh. And now he takes your son.
Do you think there's ever like a chance in hell that could ever happen? Either way, I would never, and he would never. We would never do that. So anywho, I don't know what the fuck I was saying. Yeah, I just imagine that the communication is so key for both parties. Like, what is this gonna look like? For
And
us?
also, you have to have a plan too. Like, I want more context in the sense of like
Like,
Because
what's the plan to get out of it?
some people are in long distance relationships that never met each other, so they're like they meet each other online and they're like we're in a relationship
Yeah.
and that's that. But so you have to have a plan too, like a timeline of something, you know, because that is also going to like create a better dynamic in the situation of knowing. And if you feel comfortable not knowing, then you probably have a problem with your current state as well. Because why you feel comfortable knowing that you're in a relationship with not ever having a set time of knowing another person in IRL?
Right. No, for sure. That's what I mean. Like communicating, like what is this gonna look like for us? Like what is the plan for us to come together eventually? And if the other person is not involved or doesn't want to make those type of plans or to like create some kind of agreements, then I would seriously again consider like what's happening here.
It's
Like in the scenario of like I've now developed a relationship with someone I've never actually met in person is like whoa. But I just saw something online where it was like this guy's best friend he had never met. It was maybe like video game friends or like something, but they ended up developing like a really close friendship, and then that guy's sibling, I think, flew out the guy after like 10 years of being friends.
Oh, whoa.
And it was all online.
Whoa.
And then like the guy's face when he sees him in person is crazy, and then like they hug and it's crazy. I'm like,
best
whoa!
Yeah.
Like that's wild that that's a thing, and
That's a thing,
it's
100%.
like still like the feeling is so deep.
Jordan's friend, he met one of his good friends and he went to his wedding and all that, like after meeting him online. They were gamer friends.
Yeah,
Which is
one of
crazy.
my good friends that I had for a while, I met online, and we had just talked online for a little bit, and then I did obviously meet her in person, and we were friends. But it was a long distance relationship because I'd see her like a couple times a year because we didn't live near each other.
It's cool. It's cool. I think
It's cool.
nowadays normalized too, because like you know,
So much is
it's just
online.
everything's online now for sure. But you know, long distance jealousy is the most pathetic thing you could ever feel. Like I feel like when I was in a long distance relationship, feeling jealous was so like
What was hard about that for you?
because
Oh, Peppa Pig.
because of ego. You know, like why am I feeling jealous when this person's not even here?
Because you care about them.
Yeah, and because they're further away, so you have less context of what someone's up to and how they feel. Like,
Yeah,
I remember
makes
just feeling
sense.
like, long distance jealousy was so like crap.
I think you have to set up things and moments to look forward to too. It's not just like FaceTime or calls, like obviously setting aside time to be together where you can in the ways that you can, but setting up things to look forward to, like when are we gonna visit? What's our end goal? You know, constantly renegotiating what you two mean to each other. And also I think long distance relationships allow for, also want to preface I've never been in one, but they allow for you to nurture the relationship with yourself too. You have more time with you.
Yeah.
I was like gremlin around. It's like she was a little ahead.
Okay,
Let's get a good one. Let's get a hefty.
hefty. How do you get over someone who was not meant for you?
I think it's very important to figure out why, and not like them not asking someone why aren't you with me or something like that. But I think figuring out why it didn't work for yourself, because I think taking that time of reflection will answer a lot of questions. Maybe that, you know, bring up changes that you have to make within yourself. So I think that the person isn't with you for a reason, and you guys didn't mesh well for a reason. So I think just try to find a good end. Fuck, what am I saying right now?
Makes sense what you're saying.
I think just take it as a moment to do a lot of self-reflecting. Because some people are just made, I think some people just come into your life for that reason, you know? And that's it. So, and if you feel that way strongly about a person, maybe that's an indication that it's time for you to make changes. And that was a good, you know, instead of like saying, why isn't this person with me? To be like, why do I feel this way so much?
So much learning that happens, no matter who the person is, no matter how good or bad it is. I agree. People come into your life for a reason, and sometimes they're meant to leave because you make that choice since it's not serving you anymore. or if you just feel like your values don't align, or that you can't imagine this person following you along in the next seasons of your life. I mean, that's okay. That's valuable to know.
Yeah.
And for me personally, it's like no matter who it's been in my life, I try to come to a place, you know, of self-reflection for myself around why was this person important to me? What did I like? So that I don't end on like a toxic, negative, you know, screw them. You always want to have love and light towards someone, even if it was bad, because the things that were bad most often come from they were going through something that, you know, you weren't meant to be a part of.
Yeah.
So finding reasons of like your why and what was good, and then knowing damn well what was not good and why you said goodbye.
Right. Yeah. I think you guys nailed it. Nailed that one. Nipped it in the bud. Let's get into some reactions.
Yeah.
Some videos. Some things I came across on social medias. Let's see. I don't even know what this stuff is anymore.
Reactions.
I don't think there's anything more attractive to a man than a sophisticated woman who knows how to say no. Like that's top of the stack as far as men are concerned. And they'll do everything to test the what would you call the thickness of that boundary. So
Ooh.
I don't know how you tell that to young women. I don't even think men can probably.
So what he said was that the thing that men find the most attractive is a sophisticated woman that has boundaries, right?
Knows how to say no.
And knows how to say no. And that the man will do everything to test that boundary
And how thick it is.
and how thick that boundary is. So, what do you think? Do you think that's true or no?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's true in both good ways and bad ways. Some guys go too far
To test it?
to test it. But I think it's a hard equation because you don't know, and all guys are so different, you know, like it's hard to give that to someone who doesn't understand no, you know, like because some guys will respect it, you know, but the thickness of the wall, everyone wants to explore, you know?
Yeah.
No, that's a really, I don't know, because it's like, it's hard to tell a guy that because they could take it completely different. Some guys may be unwell and not know, oh, you want me to figure it out? And
I don't think he's saying that it's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. It's just it's like the male brain to be like, oh,
it depends
like
on how healthy
for me when I heard him talk about that, it made me think of the fact that men are like traditionally hunters, and in some
100%.
way they like to be challenged a
Yeah.
bit. And like if you are just subservient to the point where like you have no needs and no anything, then like it's like the attraction or the respect for you as the woman in that relationship is going to be close to nothing.
Yeah.
And so, but in the
there's some
same
guys who
token,
like that.
if you act like I'm a high value woman and I have these boundaries, guys will see if you're being for real or not in little ways. They don't have to be like they're crossing huge boundaries.
Yeah.
It could be little things like I don't like when you call me this name or something like that, and then you do it later and she goes, oh, you're so funny, or something like that, where it's like, oh, interesting, I clocked that.
Yeah.
Like,
The consistency.
you didn't hold me accountable
Mhm.
for that. And I do think that that's a thing.
Yeah.
What do
And
you
I
think?
feel like consciously and subconsciously, that's how they gauge their respect for you.
Yeah.
You said that, but I agree. The thickness sometimes equates to how much you respect yourself, and then how much in turn that person's able to respect you because of what they see and feel from you.
I'm like curious what your take is, you know, because you're a man. Like I can't say, like I don't know what that experience is like. I don't know what I know what makes me attracted to
I just
somebody,
read there's
but
so
I'm
many
coming
different
from a
guys that
feminine
I
perspective.
think there's some guys who would completely disagree because they like someone that
Is
isn't a
completely
boss.
subservient.
Yeah, who like they feel more comfortable because they're not going to feel challenged, or they don't have enough security to feel comfortable around a woman like that. So it's hard because like It's just so different nowadays, dude.
I'm not sure because I forgot, but I have this one and I think it's kind of like a follow-up to what you just said. Let's see. Hold on.
Yeah, because I have friends who like have met beautiful girls that have a lot of things going on. They're like, nah, she's just not. She's too like she either too good for me or.
I
She
don't
wouldn't
think he's talking
understand.
about. I don't think he's talking about whether or not the girl's a boss bitch, like has her own shit going on. I think it's more. These are my expectations. Like
But boundaries,
I have boundaries. So they can be somebody who's a homemaker who like it has these type of things where you would maybe look at. They're just definitely feminine energy
Yeah.
and they're whatever. But that doesn't mean that person doesn't have self-respect and doesn't say, hey, these are my expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And I need you to rise to that occasion, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think maybe there's like, like you're confusing it when he's saying like a sophisticated woman is also someone who's like career driven, and like those are all like I think you immediately think of masculine qualities, and I don't think that's necessarily what he's saying. But I don't know, I could be wrong.
The more awakened a woman is, the more she will trigger you. Listen, if a woman doesn't trigger you and only makes you feel comfortable, then it means she's afraid of losing you. An awakened woman is more concerned about her heart's safety and you stepping into your true power than her fear of losing you. And that is a woman you want, because with her, you can truly grow. The more awakened a woman
Because I trigger you so much.
I feel like that one's
That's
true,
true.
but it's also like again the balance thing of it's so true of how someone challenges you, and that's so important. And how do they make you feel safe? How do they make you feel
Yes.
loved and
Yeah.
loved? You know, and it's like someone shouldn't always be triggering you. It shouldn't
No,
always,
yeah.